We're in the endgame now.
Hello everybody, welcome back to part 5 of my How to Invest in Comics. This will be my last in this series. It's been a lot of people, I've gotten so much feedback, a lot of people have watched these videos, so it's been exciting for me, but I just can't, continually talk about investing in comics, I don't think, forever. So I'll call it the end of phase 1, maybe I'll revisit it. But starting next week, I have a new series of videos coming out. I think hopefully you'll find them entertaining, informative, but let's get right to it. So this week I want to talk about when you go to sell your comics, and I obviously provided a kind of spreadsheet algorithm to kind of look at how much money you could make or lose depending on the comic that you're looking at. But really I think you have to have an end game in mind, and when you're thinking about the end game, you got to start with a plan.
I like your plan, except it sucks, so let me do the plan, and that way it might be really good.
When it comes to investing in general, but also in terms of comics, I think you have to have a budget. So let's start there. This isn't like a financial advising talk or anything like that, but you got to look at, what your income is and, where you are, and do you have kids, blah, blah, blah. I have some kids and I'm married, so I can't take, an extraordinary amount of my income and dump it into comics as much as I would like. What I do or have done, I'll give you some of the numbers that I do, and you'll have to, do it right, what's right for you, is I cut it into 3 different areas. So the first is I want to go to my local comic book shop and buy some books. And so I really have a budget of anywhere, but it's actually quite low. It might surprise people. I have a budget anywhere between $25 to maybe $50 a week for that. And a lot of times I only buy 4 books there. And the reason for that is the second part, which I've talked about, is I pre-order a lot of my books through my comic shop. And so that really works for me. The negative, of course, is that you have to order them 90 days in advance, but you can get a lot of books and it's 35% off. So I generally spend about $50 a month with that. Actually less. I mean, I honestly hardly ever get to $50. Occasionally if I buy an omnibus or something like that, which isn't very often. And then I also budget because I know I'm going to be fascinated with some sort of spec books that I think I have some sort of plan.
You've got a plan. Yes.
And that I think this character or plot is going to be coming down the pipe for the MCU. So I generally have about $50, maybe even $100 a month that I'll spend on books on eBay or digging through dollar bins and whatnot because I think they're spec books. Over the past month or 2, I have bought some larger, expensive grails. And I did a video on that, you saw that, where I kind of changed up a little bit of my strategy to go after some of those early Silver Age grails. And that didn't have anything to do with the budget or anything like that. That had me allocating some money from other savings that I had. I decided to move those into comics because I love comics and why not? And good excuse to buy some of the comics I've always wanted to buy. That was not part of my budget, and that in a weird way is almost outside of the normal collecting and investing that I do. That's really, I think, the start of it is understanding your budget and then just drilling down from there. So like I said, understanding I'm going to spend some at the local comic book shop, I'm going to pre-order some, and I'm going to have some money to buy some potential spec books on eBay or IG. I do buy a lot of books on IG, spec books on IG. There's great auctions. A lot of times get great deals in those, so those are something you should look for. You don't have to buy everything off eBay, certainly. I attempt to not buy things off eBay, but it's the largest marketplace. So I think then after you've kind of examined your budget, okay, and so in the budget that I just described, I did some of the math, it was around maybe $3,000 a year. So you need to then understand, how am I going to make this money back and then make some? Because that's the concept, right? That's investing. And then for me, what I do, because that's a lot of books, you know, pre-order, etc. I make a decision to slab 25 to 50 of them, and that's an additional $500 to, you know, $1,000 depending on, you know, the grades and whatnot. Not the grades, but, you know, what are you doing express? And I, by the way, never do express. I've never done one express book at CGC, not that other people can't. And that's mainly because most of the books that I get are, I feel like, the longer I hold them, the more value they're going to have. So paying that extra dollars, you know, to get express isn't going to matter to get it an extra month. When I have those 25 to 50 books, and I've looked at it over the years, I've been able to, you know, most of them don't sell for $3,000, but, you know, you sell 300 here, 100 here, maybe, you know, I did sell one, for example, one that I intend to sell would be that Marvel Now .1, it's a CGC 9.6, that will go for $600, $700, $800, maybe even more depending when the trailer drops. I'll try and maybe sell that one. I think I can get to that 3K, 3,500K mark through selling a bunch of those books, still have slabs left, and have a lot of the raw books left. And if any of those pop, obviously, those will have value. And so I still don't think that investing in comic books is necessarily, it's not going to make you a fortune, I don't think. I have not seen that, at least. What I do think is you can enjoy the hobby and there's an opportunity to make money there. Do I think over time I have made more than 10% per year, which, you know, because that's kind of the de facto standard you look at if you were to invest in, you know, the S&P or some mutual funds? I bet you overall it's probably close. I haven't done all the math on it, but I bet you it's close. But even if just pretend that I am making 10%, or even less, let's just pretend I was making 5%, I would be happy with that because, you know, I'm not really collecting comics because I'm trying to get, that's, you know, the source of my wealth. It's because I love it. I love the hobby. It's fun. And if there is some sort of, you know, windfall, I'll take it. But I don't necessarily think that's going to be the case, but maybe I'll get lucky. Well, let me ask, I'll actually add two things in the end here, which maybe people are tuning out by now, but if you stuck around, I'll answer. So I had so many crazy questions over the past, you know, month or two in combination with these videos for investment, and then I bought a lot of those Silver Age grails like Amazing Fantasy 15, etc. But I'll try and think of a couple of the questions that were fun. So one of the questions that I got, which I thought was amusing, but then I got it, I think 3 or 4 times, so was, did I win the lottery? Like, people legitimately thought I won the lottery, and that was why I was buying these books. And so the answer to that is no, I did not win the lottery. I have other savings and whatnot, and I just reallocated some into those Silver Age books, which was super fun. Another question that people asked me was, am I dying? Like, I guess that was only 2 people. Like, they thought maybe I made a decision to buy all these crazy grails because I was dying. No, well, I guess maybe I did have a kind of some medical issues earlier this year, so I guess that would be a legitimate question. But no, I'm not dying. I didn't win the lottery, but I have really enjoyed making these videos, though. And so the channel's been growing. I really appreciate that. I do have a good concept, I think, for another series of videos that I think will be entertaining for you guys. And that's about it. So thanks you, everybody. I'll talk to y'all soon. Take care.